There is a frequent question that is asked many times. Who was the most elite brigade within the United States or Confederate armies during the United States Civil War? But there isn't much of a debate amongst historians. The Wisconsin Iron Brigade was, hands down, the most elite brigade in the entirety of the American Civil War. And this is why. Made up of 3 outfits from the state of Wisconsin, 1 Michigan, 1 Indiana, and an artillery battery, the Wisconsin Iron Brigade was not only known for being fierce and ferocious in battle, but known for being the best well-dressed. Way better than typical Union uniforms. Originally, the Wisconsin Iron Brigade was a bunch of ragtag volunteers, but John Gibbons said fuck all that nonsensical bullshit and drilled the absolute dog shit out of the Wisconsin Iron Brigade, turning them into the most elite brigade within the Union Army. I mean, they whipped the dog shit out of Stonewall Jackson's fucking unit, so that was their first test. They whipped their ass. The brigade was extremely prideful in being from the Great Lakes area, and if you ever meet anybody from the Midwest Great Lakes region, yeah, they're still like that, extremely fucking prideful. But there's a fucking reason for this. And if you ask most Midwesterners from the Great Lakes, there's the fucking reason. When the entire United States decided to have a fisticuffs match with each other, Wisconsin, Michigan, and Indiana decided to go on a fucking giant spree of beating the absolute dog shit out of anybody they came in contact with. The Wisconsin Iron Brigade received their name at the Battle of South Mountain in 1862 from General McClellan. McClellan approached Major General Hooker and asked, "Who is that fighting at the pike?" Hooker replied, "Gibbons' brigade of Western men." McClellan turned to him and said, "Those men must be made of iron." Under murderous fire, the Wisconsin Iron Brigade stormed up the South Mountain, winning the battle. McClellan then went on to quote, saying that the Wisconsin Iron Brigade was the best damn troops he had ever fucking commanded, let alone seen. Not only did their unique uniforms distinguish them amongst their Union peers, the fact that the average Wisconsin Iron Brigade trooper was much, much larger than your average Union or Confederate soldier was a distinguished variant, giving them another nickname known as the Giants with Black Hats. The Wisconsin Iron Brigade was also the only all-Western brigade within the Army of the Potomac, until Gettysburg happened, which is where the Wisconsin Iron Brigade gave a hell of a fucking fight, thus leading them to have the largest casualty rating of all in the United States Civil War. The Confederates pushed towards the Union Army at Gettysburg, but the Wisconsin Iron Brigade said fuck all that bullshit and counterattacked directly back at them, causing a massive delaying action. Confederate troops immediately recognized who they were looking at and yelled, "There are them damn black hat fellows again." Another yelled, "There are those devils in black hats from the Potomac." The Wisconsin Iron Brigade went on to give them hell but lost over 64% of its unit, but did not waver, let alone break, giving the Union Army a chance to reinforce for the next day of battle.